In an unprecedented crisis for the British monarchy, Buckingham Palace has confirmed what royal insiders have been whispering for days. Queen Camilla is officially stepping back from royal duties, following the devastating leak of over 100 private videos that have sent shockwaves through the institution. The announcement, delivered via a terse statement from the King's private secretary on royal letterhead, marks the most significant royal departure since the abdication of Edward VIII in 1936. Her Majesty Queen Camilla, with the support of His Majesty the King, will withdraw from public duties effective immediately to address private matters that have come to light in recent days, the statement read. The Queen will be residing primarily at her private residence, Ray Mill House in Wiltshire, for the foreseeable future. The unprecedented separation, carefully worded to avoid terms like divorce or permanent departure, comes after a trove of private recordings spanning decades was leaked to media outlets worldwide. These videos, many filmed without Camilla's knowledge in private royal residences, have revealed conversations that contradict official narratives about her relationship with Charles, her feelings toward Princess Diana, and her role in shaping royal affairs from the shadows. Royal correspondent Nicholas Witchell described the situation as the most severe crisis of King Charles's reign, and possibly the most damaging scandal to hit the monarchy in the modern era. The videos, authenticated by digital forensics experts, appear to have been collected by a former member of the royal household staff, who had unprecedented access to private spaces within multiple royal residences over a 30-year period. The crisis unfolds from leak to separation. The crisis began when the first batch of videos appeared on an anonymous file-sharing site 2 weeks ago. Initially dismissed by royal officials as manipulated content, the authenticity of the footage became undeniable when subsequent clips were released, showing Camilla in private settings discussing sensitive matters that only an insider would know. Despite aggressive legal action from the palace to contain the spread, foreign media outlets beyond the reach of British injunctions began publishing extensive analysis and transcripts. Social media platforms were flooded with clips, making full suppression impossible. By the fourth day of the crisis, Camillagate was trending globally, with over 12 million mentions across platforms. Sources close to the king reveal that the decision for Camilla to leave came after a tense meeting with senior royals at Sandringham, including Prince William, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward. Notably absent was Prince Harry, though reports suggest he was consulted via video call from his California home. According to one insider, it became clear that the monarchy could not weather this storm with Camilla remaining as queen. Someone had to take responsibility, and ultimately, that fell to her. The final decision was reportedly made when pollsters briefed palace officials that public approval for Camilla had plummeted to just 4% following the leaks, with 78% of respondents believing she should relinquish her royal role. More alarmingly for the institution, support for the monarchy itself had fallen to historic lows, with only 31% of Britons wishing to maintain the royal family in its current form. Former Royal Press Secretary Dickie Arbiter noted, "This separation is being framed as temporary, but everyone in royal circles understands this is almost certainly permanent. The question now is whether this sacrifice will be enough to save the institution itself." The most damaging revelations. While the complete contents of the leaked videos remain partially suppressed in the UK through legal injunctions, foreign reporting has revealed several categories of damaging content that made Camilla's position untenable. The Diana conspiracy conversations. Perhaps the most explosive videos show Camilla discussing Princess Diana's death in ways that have horrified the public. In one clip from 2003, Camilla is heard telling an off-camera friend, "The conspiracy theories are Charles's greatest fear. That ridiculous letter Diana wrote to Burrell was theatrical timing at its worst. She had no idea the trouble she'd cause us all from beyond the grave." This callous reference to Diana's handwritten letter to her butler Paul Burrell, in which she predicted she might die in a car crash arranged by Charles to clear his path to marriage with Camilla, has rekindled interest in conspiracy theories surrounding Diana's death. More disturbingly, in a 2016 recording, Camilla appears to suggest inside knowledge of the Paris accident. The driver was the perfect scapegoat. 3 times over the limit, so they said. Who would question that narrative when it tied everything up so neatly? Former Metropolitan Police Commissioner Lord Stevens, who led the investigation. Into Diana's Death has called for a review of evidence in light of these comments. While I stand by our original findings, these recordings raise new questions that warrant examination by appropriate authorities. The media manipulation campaign multiple videos reveal an orchestrated campaign to rehabilitate Camilla's image while simultaneously undermining Diana's legacy. In one 2005 recording, Camilla meets with unnamed media executives and PR consultants to review what they call the Diana problem. "The public still sees her as a saint and me as the villain," Camilla says in the footage. "We need to gradually introduce more complexity to the narrative. Her mental health issues, her affairs, her difficult personality. Not character assassination, but a more balanced picture that helps normalize my position." More shocking is footage from 1997, shortly after Diana's death, in which Camilla discusses with an aide what appears to be a strategy to influence media coverage of Diana's legacy. "We need friendly editors to start contextualizing the grief. It's becoming mass hysteria, and that only elevates her further. Charles can't possibly emerge from her shadow if this continues." Former BBC royal correspondent Peter Hunt observed, "These videos confirm what many suspected, that there was a coordinated effort to reshape public perception of both Diana and Camilla. What's shocking is seeing how clinical and calculated this campaign was, and Camilla's central role in directing it." The William and Harry tapes. Perhaps the most heartbreaking footage involves Camilla's discussions about Princes William and Harry. In one 2001 video, she describes William as the real obstacle to her acceptance in the royal family. "He has her eyes and her suspicion. Charles doesn't see it, but that boy watches me like I'm going to steal the silver. He'll never fully accept me, but we only need him to tolerate me publicly." In another clip from 2019, Camilla discusses Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties with a tone that contradicts the family's public stance. "It's actually rather convenient timing. They've drawn all the negative attention away from us. Charles says it's a disaster, but having them self-exile means one less Diana loyalist inside the tent. William is problem enough." Royal biographer Robert Lacey noted, "These comments will devastate William and Harry. To hear their stepmother discussing them as problems to be managed rather than family to be loved. It's the ultimate betrayal. The trust there is irreparably broken." Following the leaks, both William and Harry have maintained public silence, though sources close to William indicate he was instrumental in the decision for Camilla to step down. One former aide revealed, "William made his position clear. Either she goes, or he would distance himself from official duties. The choice was obvious. The future king had to be protected at all costs." The constitutional crisis. Beyond the personal betrayals, several videos have raised serious constitutional concerns. In footage from 2017, Camilla is seen discussing political matters in ways that violate the monarchy's required neutrality. Speaking with a Conservative Party donor in a private room at Clarence House, she comments on Brexit negotiations. "Charles is furious about the whole thing, though he can't say so publicly. We're keeping him away from the PM until he calms down. The last thing we need is for him to express his real views and create a government crisis." In another clip, she discusses using royal charitable foundations for purposes that appear to blur ethical lines. The foundation structure works perfectly because the financial oversight is minimal. Charles has been able to support all sorts of projects that would raise eyebrows if directly linked to him. This comment has prompted the Charity Commission to announce a review of royal foundation governance. Constitutional expert Dr. Catherine Haddon from the Institute for Government explained, "These videos raise serious questions about behind-the-scenes political influence and financial governance. The monarchy's legitimacy rests on remaining above politics and beyond reproach in how it handles public and private resources. These revelations undermine both principles." The royal marriage revelations. Several videos have also revealed troubling aspects of Charles and Camilla's relationship itself. In one recording from 2018, Camilla expresses frustration about Charles's continued correspondence with another woman. "I've tolerated the letters to Lady Name inaudible for decades, but now I'm your wife and your queen. It has to stop, Charles. I didn't wait all these years to be humiliated all over again." In another clip from 2010, she appears to suggest their relationship has evolved into more of a partnership of convenience. We've always been better as allies than lovers, darling. That initial passion faded years ago, but we're stuck with each other. Now. No one else would understand the strange life we've built. Royal commentator Richard Kay observed, "These intimate glimpses into the royal marriage suggest a much more complicated relationship than the great love story narrative that has been carefully constructed. It raises questions about the authentic nature of the relationship that caused so much turmoil within the royal family." The security breach implications. Beyond the content of the videos themselves, the very existence of such extensive secret recordings has created a national security crisis. Former head of Royal Protection Di Davies called the breach catastrophic and noted, "If someone could plant recording devices throughout multiple royal residences over decades without detection, what else might have been compromised? Foreign intelligence services would pay millions for this level of access." The videos reveal Camilla and Charles discussing sensitive matters of state, diplomatic relationships, and conversations with world leaders that were never meant to be recorded. Home Secretary James Cleverly has announced a comprehensive security review of all royal residences, calling the situation a matter of national security that transcends the personal aspects of these recordings. Intelligence sources suggest the recording operation was remarkably sophisticated, with devices hidden in items like antique clocks, picture frames, and light fixtures throughout Highgrove, Clarence House, and even certain rooms at Buckingham Palace. The Metropolitan Police Counter-Terrorism Command is leading the investigation into how such an extensive surveillance operation could remain undetected for so long. The succession question. With Camilla's departure, constitutional experts are debating the implications for her status and title. While she has stepped back from public duties, she technically remains queen consort unless formal divorce proceedings are initiated. This creates an unprecedented situation in which a reigning king's wife has effectively separated herself from the institution while retaining her legal status. Dr. Bob Morris from University College London's Constitution Unit explained, "We're in uncharted territory. Camilla's title as queen consort derives from her marriage to the king, not from any constitutional role she performs. Unless there's a divorce, she remains queen in name, even if she's no longer functioning in that capacity." This ambiguous situation has prompted discussions about the need for formal clarification of her status. Some constitutional experts have suggested that legislation might be required to formally remove her title while allowing the marriage to continue, an extraordinary step that would require parliamentary action. The path forward. As Camilla settles into her private residence at Ray Mill House, sources close to the king indicate he is devastated but resolved to continue with his duties. At 76, Charles faces the prospect of continuing his reign alone, a situation that royal historian Hugo Vickers describes as adding personal tragedy to institutional crisis. The palace has announced that royal duties previously undertaken by Camilla will be redistributed among other working royals, with Princess Anne and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, expected to shoulder much of the burden. Catherine, Princess of Wales, will take on some of the patronages previously held by Camilla, though sources indicate she has been deeply affected by the contents of the leaked videos. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has pledged the government's full support to the king during this difficult transition, while emphasizing that the monarchy must demonstrate its value to modern Britain through transparency and service. Opposition leaders have largely echoed this sentiment, though Republican voices in Parliament have grown louder, with several MPs calling for a debate on the future of the monarchy. For now, the royal family's strategy appears to be one of sacrifice and consolidation, removing Camilla from the equation in hopes that the institution itself can survive the crisis. As one senior palace aide put it, "The monarchy has weathered abdication, divorce, and death. It will weather this too, but not without fundamental changes to how the institution operates going forward." The British public remains divided, with many expressing sympathy for King Charles, while acknowledging that Camilla's position had become untenable. As the dust settles on the most significant royal departure in nearly a century, the question remains whether removing one figure will be enough to address the deeper issues the leaked videos have exposed about power, privacy, and the purpose of a modern monarchy. For Camilla, who spent decades in the shadows before finally achieving recognition as queen, the fall from grace has been swift and complete. The woman who once told a friend in one of the leaked videos, "It took me 30 years to get here, darling, and I intend to make the most of it," now finds herself once again on the outside of the institution she fought so long to join.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
The courtroom is silent. Everyone is watching, waiting. Then, something shocking happens. Queen Camilla's face turns pale. Her hands shake. Before anyone can react, she falls to the floor. Gasps fill the room. People jump up from their seats. Judges, lawyers, security. Everyone is in shock. Just moments ago, she had stood there, waiting to hear her punishment. But as soon as the judge spoke, everything changed. The words hit her like a heavy weight. Her eyes widened. Her body swayed. And then, she collapsed. Guards rush to her side. Some people whisper, others just stare. What was said in that courtroom? What kind of sentence was so shocking that it made the queen fall? The truth behind this moment is something no one saw coming. How did Queen Camilla end up in court? The story of how Queen Camilla ended up in court is truly shocking. It left the whole nation stunned. For years there had been whispers, small rumors in the air about royal money being spent where it shouldn't. But no one ever expected it to blow up like this. It all started with leaked documents. These papers didn't just come out of nowhere. They were leaked by someone who used to work inside the palace. The documents showed that millions of pounds from the royal funds were being used for personal luxuries, not just normal shopping or gifts, but private jets, secret holidays, and even hush money to cover up past royal scandals. One of the biggest shocks was that the money trail led straight to Queen Camilla. People had always joked about her love for the finer things, but now there was proof. Some claimed she knew about it, others said she didn't. But one thing was clear. This scandal was too big to hide. The public was furious. The cost of living was already hitting everyone hard. Families were struggling to buy groceries, pay bills, and survive. And here was the queen consort, using public funds like her own piggy bank. The anger grew every day. Protesters stood outside Buckingham Palace with signs that read, "Not with our money." The media had a field day. Every news channel, every newspaper, every social media platform was full of updates about Camilla's scandal. Every hour brought a new leak or a shocking twist. People couldn't stop watching. The British people felt betrayed, and the pressure on the royal family was at an all-time high. What made things worse was the fact that royals rarely face legal action. The last time the public saw a royal facing legal trouble was when Prince Andrew got caught up in a serious scandal. But even then, the family managed to protect him. This time, however, it was different. The evidence was too strong, and the people were too angry. There was no way out. The case had to go to court. The courtroom drama. The day of the trial felt like a movie. People gathered outside the court from early morning, holding signs and chanting. Reporters from all over the world were there, trying to get a glimpse of the queen as she walked in. Everyone wanted to see her face. Would she look scared? Would she even show up? As the clock hit 9 a.m., the doors of the courtroom opened. Cameras flashed like crazy, and there she was, Queen Camilla. She wore a black dress and dark sunglasses. Her face was pale, and her lips tight. She didn't smile. She didn't wave. She just walked straight in, ignoring the crowd. But one thing was clear. King Charles was not with her. People noticed. It spoke louder than words. The air inside the courtroom was heavy. You could feel the tension. The prosecution was ready. They laid out every piece of evidence they had. Photos, receipts, bank records, all showing how money meant for charity and public projects had been used for Camilla's personal pleasures. Private island holidays, designer clothes, secret deals, everything was out in the open now. And then came the biggest twist. Statements from palace staff. People who had worked for the queen stood in front of everyone and spoke. They talked about how they were asked to cover things up. They talked about the threats they received when they refused. One former staff member, with tears in her eyes, said, "We were told to stay silent or lose our jobs. We were scared." Camilla's defense team tried their best. They painted her as a woman who was just a victim of palace politics. They argued that she didn't know where the money was coming from. They said she simply trusted the wrong people. Her lawyer even said, Her Majesty only did what she thought was best for the crown. She never meant to harm anyone. But the damage was done. The court had heard too much. The people had seen too much. Deep down, even Camilla knew. This was not going to end well. The verdict and sentencing. After days of arguments, witness statements, and countless evidence being shown, the moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. The courtroom went silent as the judge prepared to deliver the verdict. Cameras zoomed in. Reporters held their breath. Even outside the court, people stood frozen, waiting. The judge began by recapping the case. He spoke about the years of misuse of funds, the lies, and the cover-ups. His voice was cold, firm, and full of disappointment. Then came the words that shook the entire nation. Her Majesty Queen Camilla is found guilty of the charges presented. Gasps echoed across the courtroom. Some cried, others clapped, and then the sentence was announced. Queen Camilla was fined millions of pounds. But that wasn't all. She was sentenced to 2 years of house arrest inside a royal estate. She was also stripped of several royal titles. From that day forward, she would no longer be known as Her Majesty in any official capacity. The camera zoomed in on Camilla's face. Her eyes filled with tears. She looked lost, broken, and humiliated. And then, right there in front of everyone, Camilla collapsed. Her body went limp as she fainted. Gasps filled the courtroom. Reporters shouted. Medical staff rushed in, trying to revive her. Outside, the scene was wild. Protesters cheered. They screamed, "Justice! Finally justice!" But not everyone was happy. Loyal royal supporters stood in tears, clutching pictures of Camilla and the king. It was a moment no one would ever forget. International media jumped on the story. Headlines all over the world screamed, "Queen collapses in court after sentence." The royal family's darkest day was now playing live on every TV screen across the globe. Royal family's response. As news of Camilla's collapse spread, all eyes turned to Buckingham Palace. Everyone wanted to know, how was King Charles reacting? Hours later, a royal spokesperson read out a statement from the king. His words were full of sadness. "My wife is a victim of circumstance. She has been treated unfairly. We will stand by her." But behind the scenes, rumors told a different story. Insiders claimed King Charles was furious, not just angry, but embarrassed that the woman he loved had dragged the monarchy through the mud. Things got worse when Prince William and Prince Harry reacted. William stayed silent, avoiding reporters, but sources close to him said he was heartbroken and disappointed. Harry, on the other hand, couldn't resist. Meghan posted a cryptic message on Instagram that read, "Karma always knows where to find you." Fans went wild. Was it aimed at Camilla? Many believed it was. Inside the palace, chaos broke out. Senior royal advisors held emergency meetings. Damage control plans were made. The royal family knew they were standing on thin ice. One wrong move, and the monarchy itself could fall. In another statement, the palace promised full cooperation with the law. But the truth was, they were scared. Scared of what this meant for the future. Impact on the monarchy. The impact of the scandal was bigger than anyone could have imagined. Overnight, public support for the royal family dropped. Polls showed shocking results. More than half the country now wanted the monarchy abolished. People were tired. Tired of scandals, tired of secrets, tired of paying for royal luxuries while they struggled to live. Talks began in Parliament about cutting royal funding. Why should taxpayers' money go to a family that misused it? The anger was real, and it was growing every day. The scandal didn't just stop in the UK. Commonwealth countries like Australia and Canada started asking tough questions. Was it time to break ties with the British monarchy? Could they really stand by a royal family involved in such corruption? For Camilla, the future looked bleak. People wondered, would she ever be seen in public again? Could she survive this? Rumors spread that she might lose her queen title forever. Some even said the king was considering exile, sending Camilla away to a private estate far from the public eye. The fairy tale was over. What was left was a royal family in ruins. The aftermath, and what's next. In the days that followed, updates about Camilla's health started to come out. She was recovering at a private estate, far from the cameras. Some sources claimed she was heartbroken. Others said she barely spoke. The once powerful queen consort was now a prisoner in her own palace. Whispers of divorce started floating around. People wondered if King Charles could really stay married to someone who brought so much shame to the crown. But the palace stayed silent, at least for now. Camilla's legal team hinted at a possible appeal. They were still fighting, still hoping to clear her name. But deep down, everyone knew. It was over. The bigger picture, however, was scarier. What did this mean for royal accountability? Would future royals also be dragged to court if they messed up? Was this the beginning of the end for the British monarchy? People around the world were watching, waiting, wondering what would happen next. The courtroom may have gone silent, but the questions still remain. What happens next? Will Queen Camilla recover from this shocking moment? And most importantly, what does this sentence mean for the future? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. Make sure to stay updated because there's more to uncover. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
A shocking story has taken over the news, one that feels like it's out of a movie. People are saying that Queen Camilla and King Charles have been blamed for Princess Diana's death. For years, many have wondered what really happened to Princess Diana, a kind and beloved woman who touched the hearts of millions. Her passing left the world sad and full of questions. Now there's news that the king and queen might be in big trouble for what happened to her. Some believe they played a part in the accident that took her life, and it has led to them being punished. This is a huge moment because it makes people wonder what will happen to the royal family now. The world is watching closely, shocked and curious, as this unbelievable story unfolds. Could this be the end of the royal family as we know it? Will the truth finally come out after so many years? The mystery of Princess Diana's tragic end has returned, and it feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next. The secret investigation. Now, imagine this. It's been years since Diana's tragic death. The world has moved on, or at least, that's what everyone believed. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a storm breaks loose. One evening, a mysterious video leaks online. At first, people think it's fake. It's grainy, shaky, looks like an old secret recording. But what's in that video leaves everyone speechless. It shows a secret meeting that no one was ever supposed to see. There's a man who looks shockingly like King Charles. He's younger in the video. There's also Camilla, sitting quietly in the corner, listening. A man dressed like a British agent talks about removing threats to the royal family. And right there, the name Diana is mentioned. The internet explodes. News channels pick it up. Suddenly everyone's eyes are back on that dark night in Paris. Could it be that Diana's death wasn't just an accident after all? Soon, more shocking evidence starts to surface. Old CCTV footage from the tunnel appears. Footage that was supposedly destroyed years ago. But here it is, showing a mysterious black car tailing Diana's vehicle. Whistleblowers from MI6 come forward, shaking with fear, claiming they were forced to stay silent all these years. One of them confesses, "We were told this was for the good of the country." Digital forensics teams jump in. They dig up hidden letters Diana wrote. Letters where she feared for her life. She even wrote, "They are planning something, and I know who's behind it." Her words send chills down everyone's spine. DNA tests, bank transactions, and secret recordings all start to form a terrifying picture. Slowly but surely, the dots begin to connect. And shockingly, they lead right to Charles and Camilla. The world watches in disbelief. Headlines scream, "Diana's murder mystery. The royals involved?" Crowds gather outside Buckingham Palace. People chant Diana's name. The world's most famous family is now facing its darkest hour, the royal trial. And then, something happens no one thought possible. The British government announces a royal trial. For the first time in history, a reigning king and queen are being dragged to court for murder. The trial becomes the biggest event the world has ever seen. Cameras flash as Charles and Camilla arrive at the courthouse. Their faces pale, eyes heavy with guilt or maybe fear. Streets overflow with angry crowds holding posters of Diana. Some cry, some scream, and some just stand frozen, unable to believe their eyes. Inside the courtroom, shocking witnesses take the stand. Former royal aides, once loyal to the crown, now speak the truth. They describe secret meetings in the palace, hidden conversations, and orders given in hushed voices. One of the Queen's former bodyguards wipes his tears as he says, "I was told to follow Diana, to report every move. I didn't know it would lead to this." Next, a former MI6 officer steps forward. He reveals secret files, proof that the agency was ordered to watch Diana, record her, and if needed, get rid of her. The courtroom gasps. The prosecution plays a hidden audio recording. It's crackly but clear enough. A voice, eerily similar to Charles, says, "It has to be done. She's a danger to us all." Gasps fill the air. Camilla's face turns ghost white. The financial records come next. Huge sums of money moving in and out of secret accounts. Payments to agents, cars, even the very hotel where Diana stayed that night. Every piece of evidence adds another nail to the royal coffin. Outside, the nation is divided. Some still believe in the monarchy. Others demand justice for Diana. Protests break out across the country. Monarchists clash with those shouting for the royal family to be abolished. And then comes the final blow. Diana's old friend takes the stand. Tears fall as she shares a conversation they had just weeks before Diana's death. "She told me she was scared. She said, if anything happens to me, look at them. Look at Charles and Camilla." The courtroom falls silent. It's no longer just a case. It's history being made. The verdict: guilty. Finally, after weeks of shocking testimonies, the world holds its breath as the jury returns. The judge looks down, voice trembling slightly, and says the words no one thought they'd ever hear. "We, the jury, find King Charles and Queen Camilla guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice." For a moment, the entire courtroom is frozen. Then gasps, screams, and even cheers erupt. The judge announces the sentence. "For your crimes, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment. If the crown wishes, you may instead choose exile, never to return to this land again." Charles lowers his head. Camilla is seen wiping her tears, but it's too late. The damage is done. The monarchy, once the pride of Britain, is shattered in front of the entire world. Reactions pour in fast. Prince William and Prince Harry, once divided by oceans and grudges, sit side by side in the front row, their faces unreadable. Meghan Markle is seen comforting Harry, while Kate wipes her tears. It's a scene no one will ever forget. Outside, people cry, some in pain, some in joy. A woman holds up a picture of Diana and says, "Finally, she gets her justice." The monarchy, as the world knew it, is over. Global reactions and collapse of the monarchy news spreads like wildfire. Every corner of the earth is talking about it. World leaders come forward. Some express shock, others relief. The once golden image of the British royal family is now stained forever. Commonwealth countries waste no time. Australia, Canada, and others begin serious talks to remove the British monarch as their head of state. Some countries even vote right there and then. The message is clear. The crown no longer rules here. The UK streets are filled with protests. Some march with Diana's pictures, some chant her name, and some demand the country become a republic. The British flag flies half-mast, but not for the king, for the end of an era. For weeks, headlines dominate newspapers, social media, and every television screen. End of the Windsor era. The words stare back at millions every morning. Suddenly, Diana's story comes back to life. Documentaries air, new books are written, and old interviews resurface. There are even talks of posthumously declaring Diana a saint, a symbol of kindness, grace, and the people's princess forever. The nation reflects, heartbroken yet relieved. Justice has finally been served. Where are King Charles and Camilla now? So, where did King Charles and Queen Camilla go after it all ended? Reports say they chose exile. No one knows exactly where, but rumors swirl like wildfires. Some say they were sent to a secret castle in the middle of nowhere, guarded by soldiers, far away from the eyes of the world. Others believe they're locked away in a hidden royal prison, stripped of their titles, their luxuries, and their power. Years later, a secret interview surfaces. It shows a frail, older Charles. His once proud face now looks tired, worn out by guilt and regret. He whispers, "I thought I was protecting the crown, but I destroyed it." Camilla, pale and broken, is seen staring out of a dusty window. "We lost everything," she says. "Was it worth it? I don't even know anymore." Some people believe they deserve worse. Others think rotting away in loneliness is punishment enough. And somewhere, in the heart of London, stands a giant statue of Diana. Flowers cover its base every single day. Children run around it, laughing. Old women sit beside it, praying. The world remembers her not as a victim, but as the princess who won, even in death. And just like that, the story comes full circle. The mighty royals, once untouchable, are now just a memory. A warning to everyone that no power, no throne, no crown is greater than the truth. Karma took its time, but in the end, justice found its way. And Diana? She didn't just live forever in people's hearts. She became a legend, the princess who never needed a crown to rule the world. If you found this video thought-provoking, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our updates on this and other important stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think really happened? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. King Charles and Queen Camilla's forbidden love affair started from friendship, which eventually led to marriage, despite the controversies surrounding their relationship. Some of these controversies also revolve around Camilla's status as the future queen. But now, King Charles has made an announcement about Camilla's position in the palace, which could potentially change her status. This would lead to several questions about the future of the royal family. What is this announcement? And how exactly does it affect the future of the royal family? Join us as we reveal the huge announcement that King Charles made about Queen Camilla, the royal announcement. King Charles has just made an announcement regarding Queen Camilla, which has stirred a lot of reactions from both the royal family and the public. This announcement brought about a lot of changes in the role Camilla has to play within the monarchy. This announcement further established her title as Queen Consort and her growing responsibilities alongside Charles. In his statement, King Charles emphasized his commitment to supporting Camilla as she continues her royal duties. This decision is important not only as a personal acknowledgement of their marriage, but also as a strategic move to redefine the monarchy in the public eye. Following the death of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022, the royal family underwent a significant transition. Prince Charles, her eldest son and the longest-serving heir apparent, immediately ascended the throne as King Charles III, marking a significant shift after decades of Queen Elizabeth's reign. This change brought in a fresh perspective and approach within the royal family. With King Charles now at the helm, Camilla was formally acknowledged as Queen Consort, highlighting her crucial role alongside him. This important moment is indicated by Charles's emphasis on service and community engagement, to silence the sentiments shared during his early years of public life. The couple's focus on charitable initiatives is evident, with Camilla actively championing causes like domestic violence awareness and literacy programs. Their joint efforts reflect a major shift in how the royal family engages with the public. The couple has made significant strides in fostering a more relatable and approachable image. You will not believe the reaction of the public. Keep following. The public reactions to the announcement have been positive, with many praising Camilla's dedication to her royal duties and charitable work. Her ability to connect with people from various backgrounds has played a critical role in reshaping her public image. Furthermore, Their marriage shows a modern monarchy that acknowledges past controversies while looking toward the future. Also, the media reactions to this news is quite fascinating, as the opinions and comments varied. Supporters applaud this as a sign of progressive leadership, acknowledging Camilla's growth and her contributions to various causes. However, critics remained skeptical, pointing to the history of their relationship and the controversies that have surrounded it in the past. Among the royal experts, discussions emerged about whether this move would solidify Camilla's place in the monarchy, or if the public would continue to contend with her controversial past. As royal analysts analyzed the situation, they noted that this could mark a turning point for the monarchy. Many believe that Charles's decision reflects a desire to modernize the royal image, moving away from the old perceptions that have plagued the family. Peradventure, the implications of this announcement will pave the way for a new era in royal history. It is a notable interest that the public opinion has shifted dramatically over the past 2 decades. Polls indicate a growth in 2017, during an important moment at a public engagement where Camilla spoke candidly about her experiences with domestic abuse, which solidified her commitment to raising awareness about such critical issues. This authenticity proved vital in shifting public perceptions. Interestingly, her marriage to Charles allowed her to represent the modern royal pattern, harmonizing tradition with progressive values. As the couple's love story grew, their dedication to environmental causes gained momentum, with Charles often highlighting Camilla's support in his speeches. Together, they began to represent a new era for the monarchy, one that focused on compassion and service. The acceptance of the monarchy, particularly among younger generations, who value the authenticity and engagement of their leaders. Charles and Camilla's marriage is now seen as a testament to love's endurance, a narrative that matches with a society increasingly prioritizing emotional connections. The implications of this announcement are profound. Will Charles and Camilla continue to change the narrative of the monarchy's role in British life? As they take on more significant responsibilities, their marriage will set the tone for future generations of royals. The challenge lies in balancing tradition with the expectations of a diverse and evolving public. As King Charles and Queen Camilla embark on this new chapter, they carry with them the hopes of a nation ready for change. Their story is one of resilience, love, and the promise of a modern monarchy that embraces the complexities of contemporary life. The royal couple's vision may not only uphold their legacy, but also inspire a renewed connection between the monarchy and the British people. As they take on greater responsibilities, there is a sense of anticipation about the impact their leadership will have on future generations of royals and the evolving nature of the British monarchy. King Charles's bold decision regarding Queen Camilla has altered the way of the royal family. The love story of the amazing British couple did not start out of the blues, as there was backlash and controversies behind their sweet story. How did their love grow over the years? Keep watching to find out. Camilla's past and royal connections. Love is generally believed to be a beautiful thing. It is a thing of joy when a couple recounts their love story. The story of King Charles and Queen Camilla began long before their marriage, tracing back to their early years. Their connection, which began in the early 1970s, sparked a relationship that would come to symbolize both resilience and controversy. At a polo match, the young Charles first met Camilla Shand, a spirited woman with a distinct charm that captivated him. Little did they know that this chance encounter would lay the groundwork for a complex relationship filled with both joy and heartache. Camilla Rosemary Shand was born on July 17, 1947, into an upper-middle class in King's College Hospital, London. Her parents, Major Bruce Shand and Rosalind Cubitt, welcomed their second child into a family steeped in British aristocracy. Her upbringing was relatively privileged. She attended prestigious schools, including Queensgate School and the University of London, where she studied English. This background provided her with a strong foundation, and influences became pivotal in shaping her character. Growing up in a society that valued lineage, she developed a keen understanding of her social environment. When she crossed paths with Prince Charles, then the heir to the British throne, their instant connection could not be hidden. Their paths first crossed in the early 1970s, at a polo match, where mutual friends facilitated their introduction. The chemistry was immediate, and they quickly became inseparable. Yet, as the public later came to know, their burgeoning romance was fraught with complications. Camilla's marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973 added an additional layer of complexity to their connection, leading to public speculation and scrutiny. Their marriage seemed conventional on the surface, but the reality was far more complicated. At this point, the pressures of royal life began to shape their relationship. Charles, who was bound by the expectations of duty and tradition, found himself torn between his feelings for Camilla and his obligation to marry a suitable royal bride. As their friendship endured through the years, the world watched, often through the lens of scandal. Their bond, characterized by mutual affection and understanding, provided a sanctuary amid the relentless glare of the media. As expected between lovers, especially a first love, the relationship between the two was hard to detach. Despite her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles, the bond between Charles and Camilla remained strong. Their friendship continued, characterized by secretive meetings and shared confidences, often fueling speculation and rumors. While Charles pursued a courtship with Lady Diana Spencer in the 1980s, the dynamics between the three became increasingly complicated. As the press began to dissect the royal family's every move, Camilla was often depicted as the villain in a tragic love story. The media's portrayal of her as the other woman solidified her status as a target for public scorn. And amidst the chaos, her friendship with Charles persisted, demonstrating an unwavering connection that defied societal expectations. The unsettled relationship between Charles and Diana further complicated the narrative. The 1981 wedding was celebrated as a fairy tale, but behind closed doors, the marriage was rife with discord. Diana's struggles with mental health and the pressures of royal life were well documented. Meanwhile, the whispers about Camilla's enduring presence in Charles's life grew louder. Here's where it gets interesting. While Diana was viewed as the perfect royal match, Camilla remained a constant in Charles's life, showcasing a connection that neither time nor circumstance could sever. Notably, it was during this period that Camilla's resilience began to shine, as she navigated the challenges of love in the public eye. Ultimately, their enduring connection laid the groundwork for a partnership that would withstand the test of time and societal expectations. As Charles and Diana's marriage unraveled, public interest in Camilla only intensified. Following the couple's separation in 1992 and subsequent divorce in 1996, Camilla became a fixture in the tabloids. The narrative spun around her was often unflattering, as she was painted as the woman who disrupted a fairy tale. Yet, what is often overlooked is the genuine affection that had developed between Charles and Camilla over the years. Their bond was not just rooted in romance, but also in a deep understanding and respect for one another. As public opinion continued to shift, their relationship faced new challenges, and as history records, their paths would intertwine in ways no one could have anticipated. Did the love story end here? How did Camilla become accepted despite challenges? Let's look into that. Camilla's royal redemption. As Charles and Camilla's relationship became public, the couple faced intense scrutiny from both the media and the public. Following the separation of Charles and Diana in 1992, and later their divorce in 1996, Camilla became the target of relentless criticism. The press labeled her the other woman, and this title haunted her throughout the late 1990s. She faced a number of backlash, as Camilla had to endure a lot of words during this period. However, a significant shift began in the early 2000s when Charles took decisive steps to reframe their narrative. In 2005, they married in a civil ceremony, marking a watershed moment in their relationship. The marriage signified not only their commitment to each other, but also a major move to reshape Camilla's public image. With the media often portraying her negatively, the royal couple set out to change the narrative of how they were seen. As the years passed after their marriage, Queen Camilla underwent a profound transformation in the eyes of the public. Initially viewed with skepticism and disdain, her dedication to charitable work and royal duties gradually reshaped her image. With King Charles at the helm, they embarked on a journey to enhance the monarchy's relevance in modern society. Charles's dedication to Camilla was evident as he worked tirelessly to help her gain acceptance within the royal family and the broader public. the couple made numerous public appearances together, showcasing their partnership and shared interests. As Camilla began to engage in charitable work, particularly focusing on literacy and women's rights, public opinion gradually started to shift. People began to recognize her authenticity and dedication to various causes. Amidst the ongoing royal engagements, Camilla's poise and capability began to resonate with the public. From the onset, Camilla sought to carve her niche, focusing on issues that resonated deeply with her values. Her patronage of organizations addressing domestic violence, literacy, and health awareness became cornerstones of her royal work. In 2020, she launched the Reading Room initiative, promoting literature and encouraging discussions about mental health. This endeavor not only showcased her commitment to education, but also highlighted her understanding of the struggles many face in silence. It's not surprising as Camilla's authenticity began to resonate with younger generations. Through her relatable public persona and genuine interest in community engagement, she became a symbol of resilience and adaptability. As she traveled across the United Kingdom, from urban centers to rural communities, her willingness to listen and connect with citizens from all backgrounds deepened her appeal. This fostered a growing acceptance, gradually transforming her role into one that symbolizes resilience, adaptability, and modern royalty. Also, the couple's commitment to environmental issues marked a significant shift in royal priorities. King Charles had long championed sustainability, and with Camilla by his side, they emphasized the monarchy's responsibility to address pressing global challenges. Their collaborative efforts on projects related to conservation and climate change not only garnered public admiration, but also positioned them as forward-thinking leaders in the royal sphere. What's even more fascinating is that the royal family's support played a crucial role in this transformation. Queen Elizabeth II, who initially had reservations about Camilla, began to publicly endorse her role within the family. This endorsement was critical in changing public perception. The royal couple attended numerous events, where Camilla's charm and commitment became evident, further helping to dispel the myths that surrounded her. As Camilla embraced her royal duties, her journey of transformation took on new dimensions. In addition to her advocacy work, she focused on building relationships with various charities, which represents the monarchy. Her approach resonated with the public, leading to an amazing amount of support. In 2017, during a poignant moment at a public engagement, Camilla spoke candidly about her experiences with domestic abuse, which solidified her commitment to raising awareness about such critical issues. This reality has proved vital in shifting public perceptions. Interestingly, her marriage to Charles allowed her to develop the modern royal ideal, which harmonized tradition with progressive values. As their love story evolved, the couple's dedication to environmental causes gained recognition, with Charles often highlighting Camilla's support in his speeches. Together, they began to represent a new era for the monarchy, one that prioritizes compassion and service. As the public began to see her true character, the narrative surrounding Camilla shifted dramatically. No longer merely the subject of tabloid headlines, she emerged as a compassionate and dedicated royal who embodied the values of service and community. In the middle of this newfound acceptance, however, challenges remained, especially as they prepared for the next chapter of their lives as king and queen consort. It wasn't an easy journey, but Camilla's resilience helped her forge a new path. As we conclude our exploration of King Charles and Queen Camilla's journey, we want to hear from you. What do you think their reign will mean for the future of the monarchy? Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next link showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.